GeeksforGeeks has a challenge for you, the 390 challenge. Choose what you want to learn in 2024 and aim to complete at least 90% of the course in the next 90 days. And if you do that, you get back 90% of what you paid for the course. We believe you can do that. Now all you got to do is commit to your success, commit with Geeks4Geeks. Geeks4Geeks has a challenge for you, the 390 challenge. Choose what you want to learn in 2024 and aim to complete at least 90% of the course in the next 90 days. And if you do that, you get back 90% of what you paid for the course. We believe you can do that. Now all you got to do is commit to your success, commit with Geeks4Geeks.
Okay, so hi everyone. Very good evening to all of you. Please let me know if you can hear me clearly or not, and my screen is visible. Okay, so then we'll be starting off with the session. Let me just check the audio quality as well. Yeah, I think my audio is fine. Everyone can give me a +1 if you can hear me clearly, and I'm clearly visible to everyone as well. Okay, so that we can start off. Hi, Taimur. Everyone, please hit the like button as well as an acknowledgement. And then we'll be starting off with the discussion. So today, since Siddharth is not present, so that is why what we'll be having is we'll be having a discussion on object-oriented programming. Why is it important for interviews and how you can prepare it? Okay, so I'll walk you through all the concepts of object-oriented programming that are there, like classes, objects, inheritance, polymorphism, and others. So if you are as excited as I am for today's session, so please give me a +1 for that. Okay, and you can hit the like button also, and we'll be starting within a minute after that. Okay, so please please ensure that you're hitting the like button, and then we'll be starting off. Okay, so yeah, just let me open a whiteboard as well so that we can whatever I have to draw, we can draw it easily as well. Okay, so yeah, will you implement in Java or C++? Mostly I will keep it as a mix, right? Like I know in both, but I'll tell you what are the advantages, which language you should be using if you want to do OOPS, right? So that also from interview perspective and my personal perspective also I'll give you like which one I use. Basically I use Java for object oriented programming because there is LLD also that's there, right? So I'll discuss about these things, but everyone can tell me if we can start, right? So yeah, thanks a lot, Temur, and thanks a lot, Sumat. Everyone is excited. So yeah, let me start off now. Okay, so guys, today what we are going to discuss is about object-oriented programming. Okay, so today we are going to have a session on object-oriented programming, like how you can get better in object-oriented programming, or if you're someone who is planning to start with object-oriented programming, then why you should learn object-oriented programming. What are the type of questions that you should cover? Okay, and inside, see, firstly, in object oriented programming there is some theory part to it, right? There is some theory. For that theory you should also see how you have to code that theory up in any of the languages that you use. And then after that, the advanced level object oriented programming, that is also known as object oriented design, or you can say low level design, is based on top of object oriented programming only. In this like in LLD you have concepts like solid principle, dry, kiss, and then you have other things like designing splitwise and other applications. So I'll walk you through everything, like and also interview questions based on OOPS are there. So we'll walk throughout this thing, that from the beginner perspective till the advanced level, starting from OOPS that can be asked to a first year student, till somebody who is working and who is planning to switch, and how it is indirectly used in system designs as well. Okay, basically low level designs. So everyone is ready? +1 and hit the like button, and then let's move forward now. Okay, so yes, I hope that everyone can see this clearly. All right, so yeah guys, let's get ahead now with the session. Okay, right, so yeah, let's get ahead now and let us discuss some basic concepts. So there are basically some pillars in OOPS. First of all, what is a class, right? What is a class, right? What is a class in OOPS? That is what we need to understand. So before understanding class in object oriented programming, we need to understand that why do we basically need a class. And if you must have learned about programming, right? So I will ask you, what are data types? First of all, Okay, what is what kind of data types are there? You might tell me that int is there, then boolean is there, and a lot of other data types are there, like double and character and others, right? So primarily in data types you have two kind of data types. Can you tell me? You have the primitive data type. Okay, in data type, what you have? You have got the primitive data type. I will be teaching everything. Sir, nowadays LLD is asked in interviews. Yes, it is asked in interviews. Even to an SD1, you can be asked in interviews. Companies like Ulan and others are asking these days. Okay, so I'll tell everything in terms of implementation basis. Okay, suppose even if I'm teaching class, so I'll teach you in terms of code, and I'll teach you in a way that you understand how it is implemented, and practically in terms of code everything will be explained. Whatever will be explained, everything will be explained in terms of code only. Okay, so if you have primitive data type, there are two kinds of data types, right? There is one primitive data type, and there is another one that is non-primitive data type. Please write +2 in the chat. Everyone is clear? There are two types of data type: primitive and non-primitive data type. Now, what happens with primitive and non-primitive data type? So in primitive data type, you have got what? You have got int, then you can say that you have also got boolean. Okay, then you can say that you have got int byte, then then you can say that you have got double, and then you can say that you have got character as well, right? These are the inbuilt data types that are there. Agree with me, everyone? Right? Now, what is non-primitive data type? For non-primitive data type, we have a term that is it is user defined. Okay, user defined. So it is defined by the user as per the requirement. Okay, it is defined by the user as per the requirement. And why am I teaching this data type thing? Because I will explain what is a class, and then I'll explain how that is used to implement the non-primitive data types. Okay, so +1 in the chat if everyone is on the same page so far, and then we'll proceed further, guys. Everyone is clear so far? Okay, everyone is in sync so far? Then we'll proceed. You should be very interactive here. Okay, we don't want it to be a monologue. You should interact in the chat constantly. Okay, guys. Now, moving on with this part. So if you will see, what is a class can be said as a blueprint, right? Normally, if you see the definition of class, right? So if I'll write class object oriented programming, and then I'll search GFG. Okay, then you will get if you will see introduction to OOPS, then class is referred to as a user data type. It consists of data members and functions which can be accessed and used to create an instance of the class. Okay, object of the class. So I'll explain object and all those things here. If you will see, what is a class, right? So maybe suppose that if I want a data structure, suppose that my requirement is what? If I want a data structure, so basically you can say class is a blueprint. Okay, class is basically what? Class is a blueprint. Okay, you can say that it is a blueprint, right? So for example, if you have to make your house, right? So whenever a builder has to make a building or flat or something, so there is always a blueprint, right? There is a proposal, there is a draft that is there. So class can be considered as a blueprint or a draft. Now, how? Suppose that I have a requirement that I want a data type, I want a custom data type, where for every student, what I want is, I want to store the name of that student. Okay, then I want to store the roll number of that student, and let's say I want to store the section of that student. So tell me, guys, is there any data structure which allows me to store these three things? Is there any data structure that is there by default that allows me to store these three things differently? Definitely there is no data structure. Now, is there any data structure inbuilt that can help me to store let's say a string that is name, then integer, roll number, and section? No. You can write no in the chat. There is no data structure as such now which can allow me to do that. So since there is no data structure, so I can do what? Using a class, I can make a blueprint of this student requirement. Okay, and then I can make objects of this class which I can use. Okay, so I'll like these things will be clear as I keep on moving further. So if you will see here, right, what I will do here is, so far everyone is clear now? You can just let me know, guys. Now if you will see, if I wanted a student, right? So as I said, I wanted a student. So as class is basically a blueprint. Okay, and if you wanted a student data type, okay, where for every student you want to store the name, roll number, and section. Name is what? Name is what? Name is in string. Okay, roll number is integer, then section is what? Section you can say is character, section A, section B, section C, and all that, right? So you can see here that for that I can define a blueprint, that is I can define a class here, right? So what I can do is, basically I can say that let's say I will define a class of a student. Okay, and then here what I will do is, I will define, let's say, int roll number. Okay, that is the roll number of the student would be in integer. Then I will define what? Let's say I'll define string name here, Okay, and then I will define what, let's say I'll define char section. So let me just do it. So what I will do is here I will define char section here. Okay, let's say char section here. Right, so this is how I will define it. Is that clear to everyone, guys? Please write +1 in the chat. Now what will happen is, this is a blueprint that we are making, and also I will like what I will do is I will make a constructor here. What is constructor? I will tell you. Just bear with me for a second. Okay, then what I will do is, let's say I will do int r, then I am passing here, let's say string na, let's say, and then I'm doing what, let's say char sec section. Okay, so whatever roll number I'll be passing, that will be updated in the roll number variable. Let's say roll number will be r, then name will be updated to whatever na I have passed. Okay, then section would be updated to whatever section I am passing here. Right, now what is going to happen? Okay, so thala chabi, what does that mean? I don't know. Okay, so yeah, if you will see here, what I've done here is okay, so what I've done here is so far I have declared a student class. Okay, here here I've decided that I'll be having a roll number for it, name, section, and like what I will do is this is called a constructor. This section that I have written. Okay, this is basically what, this is basically a constructor that I have written. Okay, constructor. This is constructor. Now what is a constructor? Constructor is a function which has the same name as the class name. So if you will see here, guys, so basically like if you will see here, constructor has the same name as the class name. So the class name is student, and here you can see that the function name is student. So when the class name and function name are same, that is known as constructor here. Now what will happen is, if I like, this is basically a blueprint. This class is what, it is a blueprint. Now how will I use it? So I will tell you everything in terms of code also. So I'll say that student, and then let's say I will make a object, let's say st is equal to new student. Okay, so I'll write new student here, and then after that, let's say if I have to pass roll number, so let's say pass roll number 79, which was my roll number in my college. Then I'll pass the name as Yash. Okay, and then what I will do is I'll pass the section as, let's say C, because my section was C in my school days. Okay, so if I'll pass this thing, then what will happen, the student object that is made now, so in the student object, in this particular student object, the roll number would be 79, the name will be storing Yash, and the section will be what, C. Is that clear to everyone? Please write yes in the chat. Is this part clear? Okay, so far everyone is clear. Okay, so object is what? Object is basically an instance of the class, right? So I'll explain this. You can see that basically class is what? Class is a blueprint. Okay, class is a blueprint means what? Class is kind of a roadmap. Okay, class is basically what? Class is kind of nothing but a roadmap that is there. Okay, roadmap or blueprint you can say, or a draft you can say, on which the object like on top of which the object is made. Okay, so you can see here that if class has these data types, right? If I had the requirement for a student, I wanted to store roll number, then I wanted to store name, then I wanted to store section. So I don't have by default I don't have any data type for it. So I can define a class, I can define a blueprint, and as many objects as I want I can have, right? So I can have student 1, student 2, and like that, or I can declare an array of student. Okay, so you can see if I will declare a student SC, suppose, and I'm having its name roll number as 79, passing the name as Yash, and having the section as C, then this is how this object, when I will access the st dot name, then I'll get Yash. When I will access st dot roll number, okay, then I will get what, then I will get the roll number as 79, and when I'll access st dot section, then I'll get the section as C. Is everyone clear with this? Please write +1 and hit the like button, guys, if everyone is clear so far, and then I will implement this also so that you can understand. Okay, so if you will see here, what is an object? So it is basically a unit, it represents a unit. It is real life identity. Okay, class is basically what, see, if I will tell you, if I'm showing a building, right, if I'm showing the draft or a map of a building, okay, that is going to be made. So does it exist in real life? No, please write no. Class that does not exist in real life. If I'm showing you the draft or the paper for a, if I'm showing you the draft or paper for a particular building that is going to be made, so it is just hypothetical, it is not real life. But when that building is made, that building is a real life entity. So similarly, class is what? Class is basically, class does not take any space. Okay, class does not take any space. Class is just a blueprint. Whereas on the other hand, the student takes a space. A student or the object of the class, basically, that I'm saying, okay, st object that I have made of this student class, that will take space. Is that clear to everyone? Please write yes in the chat. Okay, After class and object, please explain instance. Yeah, I'll one by one I'll try to bifurcate everything. Is that clear to everyone, guys, so far? Okay, that object takes space. Many a times this question is asked in an interview, that whether class takes space or object. So class does not take space here, because class is basically a blueprint, okay, on top of which the object is built. So basically, if you have a draft, so that does not take actual land space. But when you have a building made, so when you have an object made, so object does have some properties and some functions and some behavior. Okay, is that clear? Please write +1 and hit the like button, guys, and I'll proceed further also. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, so yeah, everyone is clear so far, right? So you can see object is basically what it is. Like object is an instance of class. Instance means you can say it is made out of class only when a class is defined, no memory is allocated. Okay, this is very important. When a class is defined, no memory is allocated. This is very important. People get confused. So class is what? It is just a roadmap, right? It is just a draft. It does not take any space. Whereas when an instance means what? Object. Okay. So basically, when an object is created out of the class, then it takes memory, because for storing this student object, which has the roll number as 79, okay, and which has the name as Yash, and then section as C, this will take memory inside. Like this will take some memory inside your computer system, right, inside your servers. So that is why object takes space, whereas class is just a blueprint. Makes sense? Each object has a data of its own, okay, and you can manipulate that data if you want, okay, and it has functions also. So these things are clear to everyone? You can tell me, guys. Instance of a class, basically instance is nothing but object, okay. So you can say object is basically a real life entity, you can say. Make sense, guys? Okay, so far everyone is clear. Instance means basically object only. Instance means like it's a real life entity. Object is a real life entity. That is it. You don't need to get confused. Basically, you can say that when you are having a particular, like when there is a particular entity, no, that is existing in real life, that is an instance or an object, you can say. Make sense? Code words. Others are also clear. Please tell me in the chat, guys, and then I'll proceed further with the code part here. Okay, so I'll tell you a bit of code also here, so that you can understand everything clearly. Okay, clear? Instance of an object, where they have said instance of an object. Is there anywhere written instance of an object? An instance of an object is an instance of class. So object is basically like made out of class now. So like there is nothing like instance of an object. If it is mentioned somewhere, you can tell me, but I don't think that it is mentioned anywhere, right? So what I will do here is, suppose that if I will if I have opened the IDE first of all, and let's say I will select Java. I'm selecting Java because just not any specific reason. It's just that I need one language to code. So either I could have coded in C++ or Java, but here I'm using Java. Okay, because I guess majorly people use Java. Okay, so if you see here, what I will do is I'll make a student class here. Okay, guys, and then after that, what I'll do is I'll have the int roll number defined here, and then I'll say that I'll have string, let's say st. Okay, and then what I like, not sorry, string name. And then after that, what I'll have is I will have, let's say, char section here. Okay, so section will be there. Now what I will do is in this I will have a student object that will be made, and then let's say int r is the roll number that I'm passing. Then what I'm doing is string na is the name that I'll be passing, and then char section is what I'll be passing here, right? So whatever roll number I'll be passing, so roll number is equal to r. Then what I'll say is name is equal to na. Okay, and then what I will do here is I'll say that section will be equal to what? SEC that I'm passing here. Okay, now what will happen here is inside, like, so this I have made as the class. Please write +1 in the chat. Is everyone clear with the student class that I have made? Guys, please let me know. Everyone is able to, I hope that everyone is able to obviously see it clearly, but if everyone is clear, just let me know, guys, in the chat. Okay, everyone is clear so far with the student class that I have made, guys? Okay, +1 in the chat and hit the like button also if you're understanding so far. The number of people watching are more compared to the number of likes. That is something that I don't want. So please ensure that you are, if you're clear, then you hit the like button as well. Okay, makes sense, guys? Very good. Now moving on, if like once this is made, right, so what I will do here is if I will just scroll a bit down, okay, then what I will do is if I will just do what, if I'll just declare a student object now. Okay, student, let's say what, student object, let's say st is equal to what, let's say new student. So this is how you can make an object of the class. And here what I will pass is, let's say inside the roll number I'm passing 79, then in the name I'm passing yash Yash. Okay, that is my name. मैं कर तरफ से +1. Okay. Very good, thanks a lot. So let's say section is what, C. Okay, my section was C, right? Then after that, if I use some print statements in order to print, okay, so system.out.println if I will do here, okay, and then what I will do is I'll, let's say, do what, I'll do st.roll number. Okay, so first of all, let's say I'll try to print the roll number, and then what I will do is I'll also do system.out.println. Okay, then what I will do is st.name. So I'll print the name here. Then after that, what I'll do is I'll have system.out.println. Then what I'll print is st.section here. Okay. Now once that is done here, right? So let's escape and let me just decrease the font here. Okay. So what I've done is I have initialized this thing. Now if you will see, if I'll run this code, and you will see that roll number, name, and section will be displayed here. Okay, you can see clearly that the roll number was 79, the name has been displayed, and the this thing has also been displayed. C section. Oops कब start करना सही रहता है? Shalu Chaurasia, you should start oops when like when you are in your first or second year only, because that is the best time. आप बस आगे चलो. Yeah, I'll start like I'll keep on continuing, right? Just after the basic. Yeah. So if you see here, like let's say if I had to declare another student two kinds of constructors also. You can see here that whatever value I am passing, okay, that I can pass like this when I'm making the object of the class. This is the step when I'm making the object of the class, and that is when this constructor is called. But this is like basically when I have made a constructor like this, na guys. So basically this kind of constructor that I have made, okay, it is known as what? It is known as parameterized constructor. Okay, because I'm passing parameter here. Okay, please write P in the chat. Is everyone clear? This kind of way in which we initialize the object is known as parameterized constructor. So when we make a constructor like this, and when we make an object like this where we pass parameters, right? So where we have passed roll number and then name and section. So this, when this kind of constructor is called, this constructor is known as parameterized constructor. Is that clear? Please write +1 in the chat, guys. Is everyone able to hear me? Okay. Then after that, there is a default constructor as well. Like what you can do is by default, like if you just make a student class, let's say student student, okay, then what you do is you just open close it, right? So this will be a default constructor. And now what I will do is, let's say I will declare another student object, let's say student, let's say st2 is equal to new student, okay, and then I'll open close it. So now this student object has been made. So st2 student object has been made here. Okay, now let me zoom in a bit. Okay, so this st2 student object has been made here, and I hope that screen is clearly visible. Okay, now if I want to update it on the go, so what I can do is I can say that st2.name is equal to what? Let's say Ankit. Okay, then after that, let's say if I had to update section, so st2 dot let's say I'll update the section as what? Let's say something like B. Okay, and then what I will do is, let's say st2 dot roll number I'll update as what? Let's say I'll update this as anything but 54. Okay, anything, let's say as 54. And then when I'll print this thing, so let me just copy the print statement and let me use them again. Suppose I'm copying this, and I will now print st2 dot roll number, st2 dot name, st2 dot section. So now this, when I'm making the st2 object, so default constructor is being called, in which I was not passing anything, and here I can update the object like this. Okay, so when I'll run this code, so you will see that the second output will also be there. Okay, okay, so I have given it in characters. I should give 54 in integer only. Okay, now let's try and run this code also and see how it's working. Okay, so yeah, you can okay, now it's okay, so I need to give this as 54. Now let's try and run it again. Okay, so you can clearly okay, st2 dot section. Okay, I've used double C here. Let me just remove it. Now I guess it would run properly. Okay, let's see. So yeah, you can see that for the second object I had given the roll number as 454, name as Ankit, and section as B. So is everyone clear so far? You can write clear in the chat. Is everyone clear what are objects and what are this thing, what is object, what is constructor, what is class, blueprint, and everything? Okay, So this is how I like to teach, and this is how I want to introduce you to object-oriented programming. Because see, you come across, please, like everyone would agree with me, everyone will agree with me. I know that we all come across this non-primitive data type. Okay, everyone comes across this thing that is non-primitive data type. But when do we use it? For example, if you have a tree also, right? So my question is, why do we have to create a constructor and instance? Why you just do the print value directly from class? Like example, you declared roll number, name. But see, the thing is that if I want, see, the thing is that I might want to store an array of student. Suppose for every student I want to store, so I will declare what? Can I say that in that case I will declare an array of students? So student, let's say, I will make a st object, because if I need a lot of students, so I will make a array of student, st is equal to new, and then I will pass what? Student here, right? Normally in array, what do you pass? You pass int arr, okay, is equal to new int. Then what you do is you declare the size as n. Okay, here suppose you have to store the data for n students. Okay, so for the student 0, you can store the name, roll number, and section. Then student at index 1 also you'll be able to store. So these things, if you want to do efficiently, now when the thing is, you need to understand that in complicated systems, right? Whenever you're building a large scale system, so it, like, as of now you are an individual, so you're only thinking that you will only need one or two elements, so why not print them directly? But later on, when your application will be used on scale, then you need to take care of all these things also, na? That is why. Okay, so you just should not directly print, because if I ask you to print for second student or third student or something, so how you will do that now? So those things are there, and you will use the data for them also. So you can see when you will make the student object now, so now there will be a lot of student objects that will be there. Okay, and they will be storing the name, roll number, and everything. Clear with this? Okay, so everyone is clear so far? You can tell me, guys, and then we can proceed further. Okay. Yeah, so great. I guess everyone is clear so far. Right. So now coming to this next thing, that is encapsulation, right? So I'll explain encapsulation. What is encapsulation? So what happens is, if I have to check whether, like, if suppose that what I do is, like, if you will see, so what is encapsulation? Basically, what is encapsulation? So encapsulation is nothing but it is the wrapping of data into a single unit. Okay, so data and functions also, right? So if you will see here, guys, can I say that I have encapsulated? If you will see a capsule, right? Have you ever seen a normal capsule? If you have seen a capsule, guys, can I say that maybe in one part something is filled, and in another part some other color, some other medicine is filled? Have you seen that in real life, guys? Yes or no? I guess you must have seen it. Have you felt this thing? In one part there is something else filled, and in a capsule in another part there is something else filled, right? So similarly, what I'm saying is, basically object oriented programming is also encapsulation, right? Class, making a class object is also encapsulated, because here you have the name, okay, in the same entity, then you have the roll number also, then let's say you have what, you have the section as well, right? So you have encapsulated all the data types into a single entity. So that is clear why this is called encapsulation, and what is the concept of encapsulation. Is that clear to everyone, guys? Yes or no? Please tell me. Okay. I hope that encapsulation part is clear. Now, basically, there are two things, right? There is like for every object, you can have functions also, right? Suppose that if I will include for every, like I will include a parameter as a, let's say marks. Okay. So let's say for every student, I will also score marks of a particular subject. Let's say that can be mathematics. So for every student, if I'll include marks as well, now, then what I need to do is, let's say I will make a function here, okay, and the function will be what, let's say pass or fail. Let's say that function will determine if a student is passing or fail. Okay, so pass or fail is a function that I will call here, suppose, and here what we will do is, let's say it will be boolean type. Okay, so let's type it as boolean here. Okay, so I can make a function pass or fail. Okay, and then what I can do is, if I have the marks, so suppose that if the marks of the student is what, guys, if the like if I want to check pass or fail kind of thing, so what I can do, I can say that if the marks is what, if the marks is greater than equal to 40, then I might return a true from this function, okay, indicating that the student has passed, right? So true. Okay, else what I can do is I can return false here. Okay, that the student is not passing. So suppose what I'll do is I'll create another parameter, let's say m, okay, then I'll update the marks as m. So marks is equal to m here, right? Now this is basically functions are also like you can make functions out of it as well, right? So if I want to check whether the student is passing or failing here, right? So now what I'll do is in marks, let's say for the first student I'm passing the marks as how much? Let's say as 35, let's say 36, okay. And for the second student, let's say what I'll do is st2 dot marks I'll update as what, guys? I'll update for the second student, I'll update the marks as something like let's say 71, okay. Now if you will see here, instead of printing these things, now what I will do is I'll print for the first student. So let's say system dot out dot println, okay. And then what I'll do is st dot name, then plus, okay. So I'll check whether it is passing or failing. So st2, like I'll call for st2 dot pass or fail. So I'm calling the function for this guy, and it will be checked whether this guy is passing or not, okay. The first student. Then after that I will again do this for the second one, so that you can clearly understand. So okay, so then I'll do st2 dot name, I'll check like I'll print the name of this guy, and then I will also do what, st2 dot, I'll call this function pass or fail for this guy as well, okay. So this is what I'm planning to do here. Now if I will run this code, so I hope that I've not made any syntax mistakes. If I haven't, then it will give for first student, it will give fail, and for second it will give okay, I should have added a plus. Now I'll try to recompile it. Okay, let me just do it again. Yeah, so you can see here that for Yash, I'll try to compile it again for you. You can see that again. Okay, so you can see for Yash it is returning false, and for Ankit it is returning true. Because if you will see here, guys, what have I done? Like, see, all of you understand the pass or fail function logic. Okay, because in this function, what I've done is, if the marks is greater than or equal to 40, then I'm returning a true. Otherwise, I'm returning a false. Right. So, like I have, see, encapsulation is not only that you have collected all the different data types that are there, okay. That is, for a student you can have name, roll number, marks, and all those things, but also you can have behaviors, that you can have different functions. So it is encapsulated inside the same class, right? That is what encapsulation is, that you have the different data members, and you have different functions also for that student. Let's say there might be a function for calculating average or something like that. So these things can be there. And you can see for first student I had given the marks as 36, and for second student I had given the marks as how much? I had given the marks as 71. So you can see that Yash is going to fail. So when I'll call the function, it will tell me that it is failing. And for the next student, that is for Ankit, that is st2, when I'm calling the pass or fail function, so it is returning true, that it will pass. Is that clear to everyone, guys? Please write +1. So this is also encapsulation. And is this much part clear so far, everyone? You can tell me. Okay, so just let me know if you are clear so far or not. Are you getting this point? Yes or no? Let me just check in the chat. Kishore says yes. If you have understood this, please hit the like button and give me a +1 in the chat as well, guys. Okay, you should be interactive. Everyone should be interactive enough inside the chat. Okay. So far, everyone is clear? So encapsulation is not only for data members, right? So you might have thought that we just encapsulate the name, roll number, and section. No, we encapsulated the behavior also, right? So basically the values and the behavior. Behavior is what? Functions, right? So you can see pass or fail function was there, no? That also was there inside the class. Then like you can say name was there, then roll number was there, right? And section was there, obviously. So does this make sense to everyone? You can tell me, guys, and then we will proceed further. Okay, so +1 in the chat, guys, and then I'll be moving forward. Okay, so I guess this much part is clear, right? So now moving on to data abstraction, right? So what is data abstraction here? So if you will see, data abstraction is basically, see, data abstraction is one of the most efficient and essential features in object-oriented programming, where you provide essential information about data to the like where you are only providing the essential information to the outside world, okay, and hiding the background details. So suppose that what you want to do is, if you go to any ATM, right? If you go to any ATM, right? If you go to any ATM, right? So let's say you have your ATM card here, right? Now when you will let's say when you will use your ATM card inside the ATM, then it will help you to withdraw the money, right? It will help you to withdraw the money, right? Let's say it will help you to withdraw the money or something, or anything that you want to do. But it will like you never see what is happening behind the scenes, right? agree with me, how the ATM machine, how the software is functioning, what is the code written behind the scenes, how the ATM machine, whatever low level design code, object oriented code, or whatever logical code has been written behind the scenes, you don't get to see that. Agree with me, everyone, right? So that is how you do abstraction there. So similarly, if suppose that I don't want to tell whether a student is getting how many number, okay, I just want to I just want the user, suppose that user didn't have any idea, like user is only having students, okay, and the thing is that user can only call an object, that so I can use abstraction here. Suppose that by default I had given the values to the student, and this was not shown to the, like by default I had given the values for the student objects, okay, and the user is only allowed to check whether the student is passing or not, and I don't want to show him the marks, then I will only allow him to use the pass or fail function, okay. So, and I will not allow him to access the marks, okay. Suppose, so in that case, if he will only use the pass or fail function, so he will only get to know that whether the student is passing or failing. I will hide the name of that, like I'll hide the number, that marks that are scored by that student, okay. Similarly, if there is Aadhaar card information, like suppose there is information about date of birth, so if I just want to tell whether that person is eligible or not, okay, somebody can call a function, okay, that is eligible or is eligible to vote. I don't want to show the age of that person, okay. Then what I will do this kind of abstraction, that I'll just give him a function to use it, and I'll not allow him to access the database behind, to access the data or the code base behind the scenes. Is that clear? What is abstraction? Is that clear to everyone? Please write yes in the chat. Does that make sense, everyone? You can tell me, guys. Does that make sense to you? Okay, that how abstraction will be built. You can see this is one basic example. Suppose the data was already filled in all the students object, and I only allow you to use the function that is pass or fail, okay. Then in that case, someone will not be able to access the marks. And if I want to hide parameters like, let's say, age, right, or age of a person, or date of birth, or Aadhaar card information, then I'll not display it. I'll only allow you to use the information. No? Makes sense. Shalu says yes. What about others? So this is basically what data abstraction is all about. So you can see in object-oriented programming, there were several things, as I already told you, right? There was classes, then there was object, data abstraction, encapsulation. So far everyone is clear, right? With these points, everyone is clear. You can let me know yes or no. Everyone is clear so far or not, guys? Okay. So in object-oriented programming, so far we discussed class, then we discussed the objects. Then we also discussed what is encapsulation, right? And then we discussed what is the next thing, that is abstraction, okay. So if you don't want the user to access something, right, so you can just allow him to use a function and all those things. Make sense? Amit Bharadwaj, triple MUT, I guess, yeah. So yeah, it reminds me about my college. I haven't still taken the degree. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. Right. So yeah, now what actually these things are there, right? But what has happened these days, apart from DSA, companies are also asking you low level design. Okay. So basically after this you have the inheritance and other things, but obviously as of now today I will not be teaching those things. Okay. Because I can understand the students encapsulation abstraction. Yeah, I hope that this part is clear, right? So you also have inheritance, right? Inheritance is also there. So let me explain inheritance by the way. Okay, what do you mean by inheritance? Okay, or where can you see it? So suppose that, see, in every organization, do you agree with me? Like, why do we need it? First of all, you should always be scientific in nature, that why do you need a certain thing? Okay, so why do you need inheritance in the first place? Okay, why? Because see, if suppose that there's an organization, like let's say there is Geeks4Geeks only, okay, there's an organization like Geeks4Geeks only. Now what will happen in the organization is, let's say in this organization there will be some students also, right? There, let me use some different colors and then I will explain. Okay, property of someone, yeah, I'll tell you further. Just give me a second, let me draw some diagrams. Okay, let's say I'll draw some boxes, let's say 3 or 4 boxes only I'll draw here. Okay, now the thing is, guys, if you will see here, right, suppose that there is Geeks4Geeks, so obviously they will be employee of Geeks4Geeks, right? Some people would be the employee, right? Then you will have student also there. Then let's say you will have someone who is class manager. Suppose someone like class manager is there. Then someone is a mentor also at Geeks for Geeks, right? So basically, mentor is someone who might be from some other company, but they are mentoring here, right? So basically, for every employee, can I say that there will be a name, then there'll be an age also. Let's say they will be there will be an age also, right? Let's say there will be a name, then there will be an age, then there will be address also, right? ADDRESS. Then for student also, if you will see, so there will be what? There will be a name, then there will be age, then there will be address. Okay. I'm just giving a basic example. Then for class manager also, there will be a name. Let's say age also will be there. Then his permanent address, his or her permanent address. For mentor also, there will be a name, there will be an age, right? And there will be a permanent address that will be there. So and then there will be a lot of other things written for employee, student, and class manager and mentor, right? But do you want to write code again and again? No. In an organization, you don't want to rewrite the code again and again. Okay. So one of the purposes of inheritance is that it allows you to use the functionality. Okay. Is that clear? So will you write it or not? Please write yes or no in the chat. Would you like for every, see, if you're suppose that if you're making class, so for employee class also, would you like to have name, age, and address? For student also, would you like to have name and age and address? No. For class manager, would you like to have name, address, and age? No. For everybody, you will not like to have it. Agree with me? In every class, will you make this thing? No. What you can do is, you can say that on the outer surface level, you can make a person class. Okay. And in that person class, you can have the name, then you can have what? You can have the age, and let's say you can have the address and some other things that you might require. Okay. And then what you will do is, you'll use the concept of inheritance. And basically what will happen now, the employee that is there, okay, it will inherit, okay, it will extend the property, it will inherit the property of person. So now in employee, whatever logic you wanted to write, okay, so in employee, what do you want? Let's say you want employee ID, right? So for every employee, there will be an ID. Okay. So that you can, now you don't need to write the redundant code, you only need to write whatever logic is required for employees and whatever functions are there for employees. Okay. Then for similarly for student also, right? So for student, let's say you can store what is the college of that student, and what is the performance and all those things, right? Then because it will inherit, so basically you will write what? Let's say you will write class student, then you will write extends person. So basically what will happen is, from the person class, all these other classes can inherit. Okay. Then class manager can also inherit. Okay. Then you can say that other person like mentor can also inherit. Okay. So mentor is from which company, that you need to know. And functions of mentor, let's say he's teaching some Java, something like Java, or he might be teaching object oriented programming or something. So that is why you don't want to write the redundant code also. So these are one of the examples where inheritance is used. Is that clear to everyone? Okay, code words, is that clear to you? Others are also clear? Please write +1 and please hit the like button if you're clear so far, guys. Okay. I hope you have understood the inheritance also. This is something I'm talking in real terms, okay, not just theoretical in nature. And this is used a lot. Okay, clear so far, everyone? You can just hit the like button and let me know if you're clear or not. Okay. So yeah, I guess people are saying that they are clear. Very good. Now, yeah, lastly, you can see that there's one more thing that is left, that is polymorphism. So I'll explain polymorphism as well. Okay. Obviously, there is a very basic example that is there. So basically, polymorphism is what? Suppose that polymorphism is what? Having the same name and using it at various places, right? So maybe I have a function area. Now, suppose that if I have function area, so in terms of area function, let's say I have int s. So for square, the area would be what? I can simply return side into side. Obviously, I'm giving a very basic example here. Okay, then let's say I might have an area function where I might be given a rectangle. So for rectangle, the area would be what? For that, I need length and breadth. Okay, so same function name I can use, and parameters would be different here. Then I can return what? Then I can return length into breadth. Okay, because for area, it will be nothing but, for rectangle it will be length into breadth. Then if I want to calculate area of a circle, okay, then let's say I'll be given the double radius. Okay, then for I can use the same function name here, and I can return what? I can return pi r square, that is 3.14 into radius into radius. Correct? Makes sense, guys? Okay, so that is what polymorphism is about. Obviously, I'm not going into much of the details. There are a lot of things that lie underneath, but this is one basic example which I'm giving, so that I can make a class, and like I can make like if I have some redundant operation, so based on the parameters, whatever parameter I'm passing, so that function will be called. If inside the area function, if I'm calling 5 comma 4, so it will understand that you have to calculate the area of a rectangle, so it will return length into breadth. If I'm calling inside the area function, if I'm passing 10, so it will calculate area of square, that is 10 into 10 would be 100. And if I'm passing inside the area function, if I'm passing 5.5, so it will calculate 3.14 into 5.5 into 5.5. Is that clear to everyone, guys? You can just let me know if that makes sense. Okay, so this is about polymorphism. Polymorphism can be of two types, right? So they can be a dynamic, like polymorphism is also of two types, but today if I'll explain it, it will take a lot of time. Okay, polymorphism is also, like, you can say static polymorphism is there, and then dynamic polymorphism is also there. Okay, so like the thing that I explained about area, right, that comes under static polymorphism. Dynamic polymorphism is basically static polymorphism, you can say, is also known as compile time polymorphism. It comes under the category of function overloading. Okay, and then dynamic polymorphism is there, which is basically function overriding. Okay, overriding. So if like static polymorphism is clear, okay, so far, yes or no? Static polymorphism, or you can say function overloading part, is clear. Then I will just explain the dynamic polymorphism to everyone as well before wrapping up. Okay, starting is clear. Please write yes in the chat, and then I'll explain one example of dynamic polymorphism as well. Okay, so suppose that if I am making a class of toy, okay, suppose that, what is dynamic polymorphism? So dynamic means what? Dynamic means when you like when you want things to happen whenever you call them. So basically, suppose that if I'm making a class of toy, okay, inside that, what I will do is, let's say I will make a move, like how that toy is going to move. Let's say I'll make a function move, but when I'm making a class toy so I might not know that what it will do exactly. So I might declare it as abstract or as an interface here. Okay, and then later on, let's say what I will do is, so suppose that if I have a toy, as I say, okay, and I don't know how it will be moving, how that toy will move. Okay, as of now I don't know, because it depends on the kind of toy. Then after that, obviously toy will have a name of it and all those things. Other things will be there. There will be a size of toy, and there will be a price of the toy. Now suppose that I am doing what I am having, let's say later on what I will have is, if I will have a robot toy, okay, then how will it how will it move? Can I say that it will move like this understanding? It will be moving in a strict fashion. Then inside that, when I will define the move for it, so I'll say that it will move in a strict fashion and all those things, right? It will move by having its hands up and down and like that. Okay, whereas suppose that if I'll have another toy, let's say as teddy bear. Okay, TEDDY, teddy bear toy. If I'll have a teddy bear toy, then in the teddy bear toy, how will the teddy bear move? Teddy bear will how will the teddy bear move, right? So teddy bear will move like, let's say slowly, and let's say how the teddy bear will move. It will move very slowly and not in a strict fashion. It will move like an animal. Are you getting my point? So these things are there. Okay, for example, if you have something like, let's say a vehicle, let's say if you have bike only. Okay, so in bike you can say that like you can make a function of speed. Okay, and you might not know what you have to define. So later on, when you will make the function out of this bike, when you will do what, when you will inherit it as a sports bike. Okay, sports bike, or you can say normal bike. Okay, so in those, the speed would be different, the gears would be different. Okay, or let's say I know that in bikes there would be gears, but in sports bike there would be a different mechanism for gear, and in normal bike there would be a different mechanism. So when I just want to define the function, and I know that there will be a gear function that will be there, but it will depend on the kind of bike that I'm building. Okay, then I will I will just declare the function here, gear, and then I will define the gear function inside the children classes. So that is what is known as dynamic polymorphism. Okay, dynamic inheritance. Are you getting my point? Is everyone clear with this? Please write clear in the chat, guys. Code words has said clear. What about others? Others are also clear. You can hit the like button, guys, if you're clear with this. Okay, this is another interesting example that I just explained. So we understood all the topics throughout. Okay, so is everyone clear with all the things that I've explained so far? You can tell me, guys. Okay. if you will see, so we have discussed about classes in object oriented programming. Then we also discussed about objects, right, in terms of code only. Then we also discussed about encapsulation, right? Then data hiding, that if you don't want to show which person is passing or like what is the exact marks, but if you just want to check whether it is passing or not, okay, so that is abstraction basically. Then after that, what you have after abstraction, I explained to you about polymorphism right now. Okay, polymorphism can be two types: dynamic polymorphism, like when I gave the example of toy, and area function examples where you already know, so that is compile time polymorphism or static polymorphism. Then I also explained about inheritance, right, where the person example I gave. So is that clear, everyone, so far? Like, did you enjoy this session or not? You can give me a session rating for this session out of 5. What do you think, out of 5 or out of 10? Let's give a rating out of 10. Okay, give a rating to this session out of 10. Okay, let's see what how much you rate this session out of 10. Just give me a rating out of 10 on this session. Let's see uh, how you'll rate this. Okay, sir, explain interface. Yeah, like that will be that can be covered. Like as I said, like you can just take Surface, just take this as an example, that whenever I declare an interface, basically when I know that there will be suppose that there will be a in bike, I know there will be gear. Okay, so I declare an interface gear, but it depends. If I'm building a sports bike, then there I will decide, there I will write all the function of the gear. Okay, the whole functionality of gear. So that is what is interface. Understanding my point? That when the child class will decide what you have to write there, all those things. So that is an example of interface. I hope you have got an idea and the direction in which you should think. Make sense? Okay, others can also give me a quick rating, and please hit the like button, guys, if you're clear so far. Okay, because I've put in a lot of effort to explain the basic things in the simplest way possible. Okay, and so before we end the session, just let me know how this explanation was, and just hitting the like button yeah, would help a lot. Okay, so everyone is clear so far? Okay, so yeah, this was all about this session. Okay, and I hope that everyone who's watching it, please make sure to hit the like button, and I hope that you enjoyed this session. Okay, make sure to check out the link that is given in the description. Okay, so you can do what, guys? You can commit with GFG. You can be consistent, and you can do what? You can commit with Geeks4Geeks, and basically you can be consistent. If you do if you do a course, if you do 90% of the course within 90 days, okay, then you will get 90% refund on Geeks4Geeks courses. So just in case if you want to check them out, so I guess you'll find the link for them in the description. Okay, and if there are any questions, you can tell me. Else we are good to go for the for today. Okay. So I guess that that is it. Okay, so yeah, thanks a lot everyone for joining for this particular session, and I'll see you all in any other session. Today Siddharth was not there, so I thought let's have a hands-on object oriented OOP session. Okay, thank you, and let me know which topics you would like me to cover. Would you like me to cover some interview questions on object oriented programming and things like that? Okay, that you can tell me. And that is it for today. Thank you, and bye bye, guys. Take care. All the very best. Thank you.